Hi everyone, we're bringing to you a shortened version of the PowerPoint presented to members on our club day where we launched our vision and values for the club and our ways of working for 2024 onwards. The purpose of the day was to really come together as a club community. There's been a lot of change and a lot of movement over the summer, and we wanted to make sure everyone had opportunity to hear our responses to the club survey that went out over August, as well as to contribute to the next steps of our journey, ensuring that all members have come together and have their say. The day during the morning it set out to cover our Vale Values, our vision and our mission, to get feedback on how we as a community can make Vale great, and to start to think about our objectives for 24 to 25. Section, we paid attention to the key areas around our values and the way that our club operates, based on feedback that had come from our members who completed the survey during August. We found two areas really interesting. In many respects, lots of our members believe that we operate on strong principles and strong values. But what was of interest to the committee when we were reviewing these results was that there was actually then a discrepancy in our understanding or our belief that there were a set of Vale values that represented and informed how the club operates. This was one of the first things that the committee wanted to look at. We wanted to be clear on what it meant to be a member of Vale Hockey Club and the values that we expect for all our members and how we want to operate as a club. Here you will see our Vale values. These have come together via the feedback from our members, from conversations and communications across committee and with people amongst the club and in the wider community, to really pin down what it means to be a member of Taunton Vale Hockey Club. We wanted something symbolic, something that was aligned to the club and to our name, and that presented us with the opportunity of coming up with key words and key terms that were literally spelt out from our name. We have valour, we have accountability, we have loyalty, and we have empowerment. As you can see from the information within them, they've got their key meaning. And what the club did during the day was then give opportunity for members to contribute to what does that look like and what does that feel like. We'll cover a bit of that feedback in the next slide. So as mentioned in the previous slide, having presented the Vale values, we gave opportunity for the people there at Club Day to share their thoughts on, in practice, what do those values look and feel like. It was a really healthy discussion. The room was full of noise, and we had some really interesting ideas and considerations that we must all take forward. To summarise them, we looked at valour, and there was a huge amount of feedback from all around how it felt inclusive to every single level of our club, for everybody to celebrate every win, no matter how big or small, for everybody to be part of a journey and to strive for success. And interestingly, the parents that were there representing their junior members of the club, helping those key skills and that key development from juniors right the way through to the adult setting, supporting the team, supporting the club as we go. As we covered accountability, there were lots of healthy discussions, and they were very broad in their range. We had people talking about accountability to themselves and the behaviours and how they demonstrate their values and the code of conduct and the expectations we have of all members at the club. It expanded beyond that to how an individual needs to be accountable to their team and to do the hard yards, do the journey down to a Cornwall club or the upper reaches of Gloucester and Western Wales, making sure that we're accountable to each other and looking after each other on the pitch and off the pitch. Beyond that, to our community, how do we contribute in different ways, understanding that different people at different times of their life can give more or less. But what do those contributions look like? They might be committee roles, they might be supporting our umpiring, it could be part of the coach development work, and also in terms of our club development work that Hazy's working very hard on, perhaps contributing to work in the community, linking up with our local schools, helping be part of the coaching team when we bring in opportunities for our community to be involved in our work. What was key and was supported by all members there on the day, and beyond that I know from conversations we've had, was around accountability for our behaviours. We need to make sure that we're acting and working with integrity and with dignity and with respect. Nothing will ever be achieved if we don't do that. And all were agreed that we need to make sure that we communicate that we all follow that, and of course at committee level that we do hold people to account when and if, in the very rare occasion, it might not happen. We looked at loyalty, and people loved the idea of bringing the club together. There'd been lots of feedback in the survey of there being kind of silos of a juniors and a men's and a ladies section, and this real desire for the club to come back, as the hashtag says, one club, one love. And empowerment. In practice, that is what we do day in, day out, allowing people the opportunity to make decisions about how they play, how they represent the club, empowering people to play at all. The work that we'll be doing in the community, the work that we do to support people from different backgrounds or different areas that allow them and enable them to play, that perhaps otherwise those barriers would prevent them. Empowering people to maintain effort, to improve themselves, to persevere and to achieve their win. And overall, the overriding feedback were that these values were something that we all want and we all want to work towards, and that everything that we now do is aligned to these values. We've been writing our policies, we've been rewriting and updating the roles and responsibilities for committee members and those in positions of responsibility in order that they all align to our values, and we are all very clear on the systems and processes that are used to help our club be successful. Having addressed the idea around the Vale Values, the committee then looked at the next part of the survey, which talked more to our vision and our mission. And it was very interesting when we looked at the survey results. There were a pocket of players that do feel that we have a clear and motivating vision for what we want to achieve as a club. But again, similar to the Vale Values idea, there were many who disagreed with that or didn't know. For us, again, that was important, that we wanted to make that really clear. And we've done some thinking around that. And we think will continue to evolve that mission and that vision. The next slide will present the first thinkings of this and the conversations that happened around where we go from here. So again, using the feedback from our members via the survey, conversations that we had and work within the committee, we're very proud to present to you our vision statement, a vision statement being the aim, the ultimate place that we aspire to be, and our mission statement, the where we are at this current time. We know we're not there yet in all areas. What's the point in having a vision if you've already achieved it? But we're keen and we're excited to present to the club members where we want to go and where we want to be. Having presented the vision and mission statement and hot off the heels of discussing the Vale Values, we then provided those there on the day the opportunity to talk about what makes Vale great. What are our USPs? What do we already have available to us? What could we do more of, and how could we develop the club in order that we can achieve our vision? Again, some brilliant ideas coming back from club members. We've got our own clubhouse, we have our own facility. We've got a huge number of teams across the juniors section, the ladies and the men's, as well as masters. We've just recently recruited a new club development officer, and with that provides huge opportunity for us working in our community, working with local feeder schools and working with our teams within the club, developing our coach development programs, our umpiring development programs. We want to do more. We want to encourage and create opportunities for everyone to take part. A huge number of our activities we want to work through this year around developing our community, developing our social, that it's not just beers at the end of the day, but how can we involve our junior members and the parents of our junior members? How can we develop ourselves as a club? We came off of this activity feeling really buzzing, really excited by what the club have already got in place. We know that there's a lot of work to do, and we know that to see tangible change, we have to make the steps that we've committed to within our Vale values. However, I think we would all agree, or certainly I'd hope we'd all agree, that we are a very special club. During this part of the session, I took opportunity to introduce who I am. Many of you are listening to me at the moment and have no idea who I am. I'm the lady that's been running up and down the sideline for the last 2.5 seasons, working with the ladies' ones team. My name's Vicky, and I previously was a player for Yate Hockey Club for over 24 years. I had an opportunity when my partner moved down to the club to play in goal. I had a knee injury at the time, so I ended up watching the game on crutches. Having played against Taunton Vale for many, many years, I knew a lot of the players there and had the privilege of playing with some of the players through Westmasters and some of the England setup. Their little eyes lit up when they found me on crutches and inquired about whether I'd be able to help the team on a Saturday and during the training. And I leaped at the opportunity, and it was one of the best things I've ever done. I've found myself a family, a new hockey family. I've found myself in a place where we can genuinely move forward, where we can achieve great things. We have a great committee who are very, very supportive of not only pushing excellence and achieving the very best, but also intent on making sure that every member of this club is valued. That's something I really buy into in my leadership work that I do in my real job, is very, very much about looking after people and making everybody feel valued. I'm very proud and very privileged to have been given the opportunity to work with the club at a different level and to be able to be involved with working through our strategies, developing our vision and our culture. And I'm very proud to see the development already in this short space of time. I'm really looking forward to and excited about where we're going to go as a club. And I welcome the opportunity to have presented this to you, both on Club Day and now as I do a shortened version of the day, and for the many great things that we're going to achieve moving forward. During this next part, I presented a short overview of the key findings that came from the rest of the survey. There were a lot of areas covered, and it was really, really interesting to see how much members of the club agree or strongly agree with the things that we've been doing. But there were some clear areas that we need to address, some of those fairly urgently, and we have been. Others will take time as we work our way through and we develop our bonds and we work towards those Vale values. Summarised within this slide are the key actions that we'll be working on this year. Uniting the club. I've already mentioned that we've been working through our policies and procedures and making sure that they talk to and through each other, informed by our values. We need to make sure that the hashtag One Club, One Love means something. Little did I know until later on in Club Day the history of that hashtag. The history being 20 years at least old, where we brought the cricket and hockey community together in creation of Taunton Vale Sports Club. It's things like that that I love. There's so many hidden gems within our club. We are one club. Members of this club have one love. Let's make it happen. We are looking at our people strategy, and we have been making sure that we've got the right people in the right jobs, ensuring that they're fulfilled, that they're supported, and that we have open lines of communication. Leading me on to communication, one really strong area of feedback was around the club communication and ensuring that everybody was aware of what was happening. We've been working through that, and Timo plus our WhatsApp community are going to prove pivotal as we move forward through this season. Our development opportunities through our club development officer Claire Hayes and the supportive team around her are going to be huge this year. We're going to be developing and working our coach development schemes and programmes, our umpire development programmes, and significant amounts of work within the community, providing pathways for young people, maybe from state schools, from Richard Hewish, and the wider community, taking advantage of all of the wonderful opportunities England Hockey provides us to ensure that we are outward facing as well as looking after ourselves within the club. Valuing all, it needs to be seen All of these things, and we talked about it on the day, we need to have something tangible at the end. Players, members, everybody associated with the club needs to see something new. Now, that doesn't need to be a huge amount of money splashed into the club. It doesn't need to be an overhaul of personnel, but it needs to be something where there's a feel that the values are present, that the way that we operate in this club is true to our values, and that we all are gaining something and there's a forward momentum. There'll be some pretty radical things as well, some strong objectives around, particularly in various sections across the men's and ladies, teams being promoted, additional teams being added to the roster, the integration of the juniors through to the adults, and really ensuring that there's a connection between those two sections. In turn, that will develop our sense of community, developing our community beyond just the standard, finding other ways that we can all be involved. But we know that's not going to be perfect, and we know there's going to be plenty of learning along the way. I work in education, I'm a senior leader within teaching, and one of the key things and key principles that I actually base all of the work on that I do is on this concept of learn, do, review. We know for certain that there will be bumps in the road, and there will be things that happen that maybe we can learn from, we can develop, or indeed as a club community, we can review and go again. That club day and the survey that you so kindly contributed to during August was just the first of many opportunities for us to review, inform, and continue moving forward. Again, we're hugely excited by the opportunity to be working with our members and for our members. I debated whether to keep this slide in as part of this shortened presentation. Would it have the same impact as it did, I hope, on the day? I've kept it in, and I've kept it in for a reason. For any of us, at any time, we need to understand that this club runs and operates because of each and every one of us. I likened it to the spine of the body. As you can see within this image, we've got the base of our spine, the junior section, the bedrock of our spine, the people that are our blood bank, the people that provide that strength in that continuous flow of movement. Our seniors teams, our 5s and 6s, absorbing that strength, supporting the transition of our junior members. And of course, some junior members may move into the 3s, 4s, or even the 1s and 2s early. But it's crucial that our seniors teams are there as the model of excellence for our juniors, as the model of what it means to be a member of Vale Hockey Club, so that the high quality experience they're getting in the juniors is replicated in the adult section and they're inspired and motivated to stay at the club. As I've said, the 3s and 4s through the middle of that club, key pivotal teams that support the 5s and 6s in their journey, that allow players to progress through as they're moving up through the teams, and also provides a safe sanctuary for players who maybe are moving down, for want of a better term, into teams. And then our seniors team. We know in terms of the high performance teams at our club, and that's the men's and ladies, 1s and 2s, we know that there is a lot of anticipation and excitement for where we can go. Our club vision relies on those teams becoming the best in the Southwest. That means that emphasis has to go on to those teams in terms of the experiences they have, the players that we bring in, and how we operate. That does not mean that the 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s and juniors get left behind. The aim of this image was to show that at its core, the club must exist as one. The 1s and 2s are nothing without the rest of our club supporting us and helping us with the framework. We then took a look at the initial objectives for this season as a club. These are a developing area, and I'll give you some time just to look through the initial thoughts, initial areas. We as a committee are just working through the final areas, and we need the support of players within that as well. We don't want to be setting targets for teams that teams don't feel are realistic. Similarly, we want to make sure that we're working towards our vision and we are working within our mission. Having had some time to contribute to this, what will happen, and when we settle on these objectives that we will all then be accountable for during the season, we will then be able to look within that. So when we look at the ladies' 1s and 2s and we think about promotion, it's a very bold statement and one that I'm very ambitious we will achieve this year. But what does that look like? There'll be a separate plan that just sits within that helps players, support members, committee members understand how we're going to achieve that objective. Your contributions to our objectives are welcome, and we'd welcome you to share them with your head of hockey, with your coaches, and or through our forum that we'll be setting up through our Taunton Vale WhatsApp community. In this final section, it was just an opportunity for us to remind those that were there on the day, and of course for those of you listening now, of how far we've come in a very short space of time. We've managed to write the roles and responsibilities for key roles within the club. We've created our Taunton Vale WhatsApp community, a central place for the sharing of information, which will support our work on TIMO. We've aligned our committee structure to ensure that everything fits together. We've written selection policies for the seniors, where the men's and ladies will be adopting the same policy and will operate in the same way. We've been working across the juniors to ensure that that setup and structure is in place, and we've got an integration plan and transition plan for our juniors into adult hockey. There's been many, many more things that we've done as well, and it's exciting to have got started. It is the journey so far, and there's many more things to come. We're really excited to have you on board and to be part of it. What it leaves us to say is thank you. Thank you for taking the time to tune in and listen to this shortened version of the presentation that took place on Club Day. Thank you for being a member of Taunton Vale Hockey Club and agreeing to work with us alongside our Vale values and our vision and mission to help us achieve the things we truly believe we can achieve. And this slide helps us to remember we are one club, we have one love.